A large-scale riot broke out on the night of October 4th at the Chinatown Industrial Park in Sihanoukville Province, Cambodia. The situation quickly got out of control. More than 100 workers from Pakistan and Bangladesh rushed into the park's office and dormitory areas, smashing equipment and causing chaos. According to Cambodia-China Times, most of the workers involved were employed by Chinese-owned online gambling and telecom scam operations inside the park. During the riot, angry workers stormed into offices and dormitories, destroying computers and facilities, leaving many people injured. After receiving reports, local police immediately sent in special forces and additional reinforcements to seal off the area and restore order. The clashes continued until about 4 a.m. on October 5th, when police finally brought the situation under control and detained all those involved. Initial findings suggest that the riot may have been triggered by long-standing wage disputes and conflicts during a religious festival. Cambodian police have not yet issued an official statement. In recent years, China's Belt and Road Initiative has rapidly expanded across Southeast Asia. Several years ago, authorities discovered many victims of scam operations in Sihanoukville, a city filled with Chinese-run developments. These range from tourism and casinos to large industrial zones. A 2023 report on transnational crime networks by the U.S. Institute of Peace stated that Chinese-linked criminal groups stretching from Southeast Asia to the United States now pose a global threat. Many victims of online fraud are overseas Chinese, and the masterminds behind these operations often have close ties to China. An article was published by Voice of America in February 2018 about the crimes of Zhao Wei, who was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury. It revealed that the Chinese Communist Party began reaching into the Golden Triangle region in the late 1990s, even before joining the World Trade Organization. According to the report, Zhao Wei is a businessman acting as a proxy for China's Ministry of Public Security. He moved to Mongla in Myanmar's Shan State in 2001 and opened the Blue Shield Entertainment Casino, a name symbolizing ties to Chinese police. After the 2011 Mekong River massacre, Zhao relocated his operations to Laos and later expanded into Cambodia, becoming a key figure in the CCP's infiltration of Southeast Asia's gambling industry. Through his Laos-registered King's Roman Group, Zhao leased 10,000 hectares of land in the Bokeo province in order to create the Golden Triangle's Special Economic Zone. The Lao government held a 20% stake, while Zhao's company controlled 80%. Zhao served as chairman of the zone, which was officially described as promoting alternative economic development, but in reality is centered on the gambling industry, spawning hotels, restaurants, massage parlors, and other gray area businesses. Overseas media figure Wang Qing reported that Zhao was backed by Liu Yuejin, a vice minister of China's Public Security Ministry. Liu joined the ministry in 2001 and was arrested in 2024. He was part of the Jiang Zemin, Zheng Qinghong faction within the CCP. As the CCP's influence expanded and Belt and Road projects improved infrastructure such as power grids and telecommunication, the gambling industry shifted online. When the COVID-19 pandemic closed borders in 2020, casinos across Southeast Asia lost customers and transformed into online gambling operations. These platforms developed complete payment systems, money laundering channels, and customer databases. When Chinese authorities tightened crackdowns on online gambling, many of these networks pivoted to telecom fraud instead. This reveals that telecom fraud is not an isolated industry, but rather a movable criminal infrastructure. Special economic zones in countries like Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand have lax management and weak oversight, providing a legal facade for criminal organizations. When these countries urgently need to attract investments, develop tourism, or grow high-tech industries, they may unintentionally become new hubs for telecom fraud. So, how much profit can these criminal syndicates make here? On October 1, 2025, the Wenzhou Intermediate People's Court in Zhejiang Province, China, delivered a first-instance verdict on the Mingjiao crime group case in northern Myanmar. A total of 39 individuals were sentenced, with 11 receiving the death penalty. The court revealed that the funds involved in the gambling and fraud activities exceeded 10 billion yuan, about $1.4 billion US. In an article published by Sohu in 2023, it was reported that She Zhijiang, also known as She Lunkai, was one of the masterminds behind the KK zone. He was arrested in Thailand in August 2022. He made a fortune of 1.2 billion yuan, about $300 million through online fraud, gambling, pornography, and human trafficking. The dark industries in Southeast Asia have brought vast wealth to the CCP, but the underlying reality is brutally grim. According to the International Rescue Organization, GSAO, the KK zone is the final destination for human trafficking in Southeast Asia. While not the largest, it is known for its most brutal methods. Victims who cannot pay a ransom of $20,000 to $40,000 risk having their organs harvested. Organ harvesting requires medical expertise, and without support from the CCP, typical criminals would not be able to operate in this industry. She Zijiang confirmed this fact. In August 2024, She Zijiang participated in a video interview from a Thai prison. He spoke to the 101 East program by Al Jazeera. He stated that he was a former CCP spy, punished for knowing too much. He had access to sensitive information from the CCP's Ministry of State Security and the Belt and Road Initiative, and some matters were even related to the top leader, Xi Jinping. He claimed that if he were sent back to China, he would be silenced. He expressed regret for joining the CCP's Ministry of State Security, saying that the CCP sought colonies, while he only wanted to do business. Reports indicated that She Zijiang attended a state banquet in the Philippines in 2018, which was personally attended by CCP leader Xi Jinping. In 2019, She served as the executive vice president of the China Overseas Chinese Chamber of Commerce, and he became the cover story of China Overseas Chinese magazine. He had invested 350 million yuan to establish the Asia-Pacific New City, a flagship project for the CCP's Belt and Road Initiative in the Golden Triangle area. He claimed he was trapped during a power struggle for control of the new city against high-ranking CCP officials. On December 4, 2023, Chinese media published an article pointing out that Ji Xiaobo, who was arrested by the CCP, ran a casino and telecom fraud operation in Myawaddy, Myanmar. Behind him was Lai Xiaomin, a prominent figure in China's financial sector. Lai was a fixer for Zheng Qinghong, a former Politburo Standing Committee member of the Chinese Communist Party. The article suggested that Xi Jinping's crackdown on Zheng Qinghong's faction had extended to Ji Xiaobo in Macau, but the CCP was not fighting crime. Rather, it was engaged in internal power struggles. On March 7, 2025, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Qing announced that China, Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos were working together to eliminate fraud hubs in northern Myanmar. He called these hubs a toxic tumor. However, on June 26, Amnesty International published an article announcing it had found over 50 fraud parks as part of an 18-month investigation. Survivor testimonies detailed how thousands of people were trafficked, enslaved, and forced into labor, with evidence suggesting that Chinese criminal gangs were possibly colluding with the Cambodian government to carry out these atrocities. The article highlighted that on January 15, 2025, a Taiwanese fire dancer was tricked into entering a fraud park between Thailand and Myanmar. He, along with others, was forced to commit fraud using computers. He was later rescued in a joint effort by the Taiwanese and Thai governments and returned to Taiwan. He had visible scars from being handcuffed. While the rescue was fortunate, it was not as many imagine, with police simply meeting with park managers or security at the gate and letting the park continue its operations. Amnesty International criticized the Cambodian authorities for allowing these fraud parks to exist, suggesting that the government was complicit due to fears of the CCP's influence. In early 2025, the U.S. think tank Pacific Economics reported that transnational crime groups with Chinese connections were involved in criminal activities in the Micronesian country of Palau. They operated under the guise of investing in resorts and land development projects. The CCP used these organizations to further political goals, expanding its reach from Southeast Asia to Pacific Island nations. The report specifically highlighted Prince Group Holdings, a major Cambodian business group led by Chinese businessman Chen Zhi. Prince Group had invested in several resorts and real estate projects in Palau. Prince Group Holdings had previously been exposed by Radio Free Asia for its involvement in money laundering, online gambling, and telecom fraud. The report also noted that Prince Group's investments in Palau were located near key infrastructure like Koror Port, Palau International Airport, and radar stations, with 99-year land leases. These contracts resembled those signed by Zhao Wei, a fixer for the CCP in the Golden Triangle area of Southeast Asia. According to Prince Group, the leader of Macau's largest criminal organization, 14K, is Zheng Yaju, whose real name is Ying Guozhu. He had been revealed by Hong Kong 01 to have investments in multiple Southeast Asian countries. In May 2025, Radio France Internationale published an article focusing on the growing telecom fraud activities in Southeast Asia. RFI invited Dr. Guo Wen, a criminology expert at Western Sydney University, to analyze the global spread of China's telecom fraud networks. Guo Wen believes that the rapid expansion of telecom fraud networks in South Asia is an unexpected development, accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic and China's strict anti-gambling policies. The Belt and Road Initiative has provided a platform for these illegal activities, with the masterminds behind them often having close ties to the CCP. Her views align with a 2023 report by the U.S. Institute of Peace, which noted that crime networks linked to China's BRI are becoming a global threat, stretching from Southeast Asia to the United States. Guo Wen pointed out that the rise and spread of telecom fraud in Southeast Asia is essentially a sectoral transformation of the black economy in the Golden Triangle region. Her earlier research focused on countries such as Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand, which are the core of the traditional Golden Triangle. This area at the confluence of the Rakhine River and the Mekong River covers approximately 200,000 square kilometers. Initially, it was used for opium cultivation, later transitioning to casinos. However, around 2020, the pandemic caused the casino business to decline, and criminals shifted their focus to telecom fraud. China's Belt and Road Initiative is a commercial framework where China itself does not directly invest, but allows criminal organizations to invest in various countries and quickly amass wealth and expand influence. The ease of investment and mobility offered by this framework allows criminals to travel across regions in search of opportunities. Meanwhile, fraud schemes continue to evolve, making it difficult to defend against. For example, a prominent grassroots leader in Thailand's Chiang Mai, who had invested in the Peach Blossom Project, was exposed for running a pig butchering scam. On May 19, 2025, Thai media reported that Thai police dismantled a fraud ring operating from a luxury resort in Chiang Mai. They arrested 24 members. The group targeted mainly Thai nationals and foreign nationals from countries like Japan, using fake online dating accounts to lure victims into romantic relationships. Then, they encouraged victims to invest and transfer money via social media, disappearing once they had taken the money. This is what's called a pig butchering scam. The criminal group consisted of 24 members, 22 men and 2 women. 20 of them were Chinese nationals, and 4 were locals from Chiang Mai. Police interrogation revealed that each member earned between $760 to $1,000 per month from the scams. Typically, each team consisted of at least 5 people who used fake identities, hacked victims' computers, stole data, and engaged in fraud. Many Chinese people are unaware of the CCP's control over telecom fraud parks. Recently, there was a case about a minor Chinese celebrity named Wang Qing. He was being scammed and kidnapped to Myanmar's Myawaddy. After his story was exposed, the truth about the telecom frauds in Myanmar's KK zone started to surface on social media. It was revealed that over 70,000 people were kidnapped in northern Myanmar's fraud parks every year. After the Wang Qing incident broke, documents of over 1,500 victims circulated on Chinese social media, but these were eventually banned by the CCP. This suggests that the CCP was behind these operations. According to BBC reports, Wang Qing flew to Bangkok to meet with a contact he had previously communicated with on WeChat. The contact claimed to represent a large Thai entertainment company. Wang Qing's girlfriend wrote on Weibo that she and his brother had already tried to track his whereabouts and contacted the police, but the results were minimal. The CCP's police had not filed a case, and the Chinese embassy in Thailand only advised his family to seek help from the local police. However, as online discussions became more heated, authorities began to take action. The next day, Thai and Chinese officials announced that Wang Qing had been rescued. Yet, details about the rescue operation were hardly disclosed by the CCP, and officials did not even reveal which telecom fraud park he was found in. On January 9th, an X account exposed. To put it plainly, Thailand is just a transit station. People inside the Myawaddy Park revealed that Wang Qing's case got too big and angered the mysterious shareholders behind it. Thai military officials and certain Hong Kong stars are among the shareholders. The big boss is furious, and the consequences are serious. The company behind Wang Qing is newly established, and the boss is actually from Guangdong province. This time, they deeply regretted it. They almost lost their base, and it looks like the underlings will suffer. Initially, the park didn't want to release him, but they couldn't hold out any longer. Another user shared, the biggest gang in Beijing is the Fujian gang. Most of the fraud bosses come from Putian and Quanzhou. Many fraud bosses had already established relationships with Fujian police before 2017. In 2018, many police from outside Fujian were sent to crack down on pig butchering scams and online gambling. The fraud bosses realized that the Fujian police couldn't manage the foreign police, so they used connections with leaders in Fujian to reach Beijing's authorities, who used both soft and hard tactics to resolve issues. The foreign police would let victims settle with 7-figure compensation, while Beijing took 8-figure bribes. The foreign police got promotions, and the bosses kept scamming. Everyone was happy. I, as an outsider, have heard of these stories, so it's impossible that those inside the system haven't heard about it. That's why they dare not file cases, fearing they'll disrupt their profitable routes. Another user added, then a large number of domestic gang members arrived in Cambodia and northern Myanmar. With casinos no longer profitable, they eventually teamed up with the Fujian gang to engage in telecom fraud. The biggest fraud bosses in Southeast Asia are all Fujianese, with those from Anxi accounting for more than 80%. The entire Xiamen real estate industry is run by these fraudsters. But now most of the people have gone abroad, settled in Singapore, and shifted their focus to Dubai. They all have close ties to the Chinese government. Another user raised a question. I've always wondered, why is it that when ordinary people transfer money to family, friends, or clients, their funds are frozen by banks as suspected fraud, but the money flow of fraudsters isn't obstructed? Small amounts of several thousand or 10,000 yuan are tracked clearly, but large sums of tens of millions or even hundreds of millions are untraceable? What is the bank doing? Are they helping depositors or the fraudsters? Even more strangely, all phone calls and online messages are monitored by national security and the police. Why can't they trace fraud calls? Why can't they block them? On January 11th, Hu Xijin, the former editor-in-chief of Chinese media outlet Global Times, published an article raising concerns about telecom fraud. He questioned how fraud groups managed to obtain basic tools for their crimes, despite China's 3 major telecom operators enforcing a real name registration system. Hu asked how SIM cards, which should be regulated, ended up abroad, went through registration and verification, and eventually entered China's communication network. This remains a significant puzzle for the public. He believes that telecom companies like China Mobile should provide a public response. Political commentator Li Lingyi told independent media Epoch Times that Southeast Asia's criminal Chinese factions have long had connections with the CCP's United Front Work Department, Ministry of State Security, and Ministry of Public Security. These groups have infiltrated foreign territories, with high-level officials sharing profits while engaging in internal power struggles. In July 2020, the U.S. independent think tank, the United States Institute of Peace, published a special report about Myanmar's casino cities. The report highlighted that Chinese nationals with foreign citizenships were at the forefront of these activities. They chose to cooperate with CCP government agencies and aligned their activities with China's Belt and Road Initiative. The report seriously questioned the CCP's role in these ventures. On October 6, a worker trapped at a construction site of the China State Construction Engineering Corporation in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, posted a video on X. He revealed that he had been in Ulaanbaatar for a month, but had not been able to start working. His passport was confiscated, and he was unable to leave, facing conditions similar to those at the KK Park fraud zones. This is a common issue with overseas projects run by state-owned enterprises, which often withhold passports under the pretext of safeguarding the passports for workers. From these clues, Chinese people are gradually realizing that the Belt and Road Initiative is a breeding ground for black market industries. Wherever the Belt and Road goes, those countries are forced to compromise with the CCP, accepting their criminal activities. The telecom fraud hubs, as part of the Belt and Road Initiative, reveal deeper layers of fraud within the CCP regime. This raises the question, is the CCP preparing to export its high-pressure, violent, and fear-driven tactics to other countries?